A warm greeting. Today is Friday, July 26, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In tonight's video, I would like to talk about a disturbance that will be interacting with a tropical wave over the next few days as it moves west-northwest. Eventually, it will reach the eastern and northeastern Caribbean region between Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and conditions will be marginally favorable for cyclonic development. This video is of particular interest to the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and Jamaica, where you should be monitoring the evolution of this disturbance and its interaction with the tropical wave over the next few days. It is precisely this tropical wave that the European model has been projecting could acquire some organization when it moves over the Caribbean region. Although it was the only model showing development in recent days, today we have seen other models joining the idea that the tropical wave could amplify as it reaches the Caribbean region. This is why the National Hurricane Center marked this area as one with a potential for cyclonic development over the next 7 days at 8 a.m. And at 8 p.m., they maintained a 20% chance of forming a tropical depression as it approaches the Caribbean or crosses near the Greater Antilles. Throughout this trajectory, the tropical wave and the disturbance will be passing over sea surface temperatures that are quite warm and near record levels, which could aid in at least some gradual development. Furthermore, wind shear is projected to be below normal for mid to late next week, and when the tropical wave crosses this region, it could find favorable conditions for some cyclonic development. These favorable conditions are due to the fact that we are beginning to see a favorable phase of the Madden-Julian oscillation moving through the eastern Pacific and the Atlantic, and atmospheric conditions will continue to improve over the next few weeks. August is expected to be hyperactive, mainly because a favorable phase of the Madden-Julian oscillation is anticipated to be present throughout the month. However, not all parameters are favorable for development. We still have a large cloud of Saharan dust across the tropical Atlantic, accompanied by dry air in the atmosphere, which is expected to be the biggest impediment to the formation of any tropical cyclone before it reaches the Caribbean. However, once it reaches the Lesser Antilles, sea surface temperatures increase significantly, which could help this disturbance to battle the dry air more effectively. This is precisely what the best global models are showing. Here we have the disturbance and the strong tropical wave coming out of Africa. See how, over the next few days, both disturbances interact until they eventually converge on Tuesday night or Wednesday. Once it approaches the Caribbean region, see how the tropical wave amplifies and could develop a moisture zone that can protect the disturbance from the surrounding dry air. Eventually, it crosses over Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. The GFS model projects it will pass between Wednesday and Thursday as a strong tropical wave. So for now, the American model does not project it will develop into a tropical depression before reaching the Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. This is a significant change in the GFS model projections since, until this morning, it did not have a strong tropical wave moving through this region. However, we have the projection of the European model, which has been quite consistent over the past few days, showing this interaction between the tropical wave and the disturbance, gaining some organization as it moves over the northeastern Caribbean region. At least this afternoon, the European model and the American model agree that it could arrive as a strong tropical wave between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Additionally, other models like the German model also have a strong tropical wave moving over the Lesser Antilles on Friday morning. And the UK model also has a strong tropical wave, not strengthening into a tropical depression, reaching the northeastern Caribbean between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So in reality, over the next 5 to 7 days, we have a consensus that this disturbance will interact with the tropical wave, and when it reaches the Caribbean region, it could find marginally favorable conditions for the tropical wave to amplify and cause a significant rain event in the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. In the long term, we will be watching to see if it encounters more favorable conditions over the Bahamas region or the Western Caribbean Sea. For now, development probabilities remain quite low. In fact, see that the ensemble members of the GFS model, almost none of them develop a tropical depression over the next 7 days, although many of the European model members do show at least a tropical depression forming just north of the Dominican Republic and Haiti or over the Bahamas region. However, this is a very long-term forecast, so significant changes can occur over the next few days, and it is important for those living in the Greater Antilles or the Northern Lesser Antilles to stay tuned to the National Hurricane Center forecasts. In terms of probabilities, see that the European model ensemble has between a 30% to 35% chance of developing a tropical depression near the northeastern Caribbean for mid to late next week. Regardless of whether cyclonic development occurs or not, expect quite rainy days starting Wednesday morning. Rains may affect the northern Lesser Antilles, eventually moving westward, bringing heavy rains over Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic between Wednesday and Thursday. Some of these rains could cause flooding issues. Look at the projected rainfall accumulation according to the American model, which has between 50 to 75 millimeters of accumulated precipitation for the Lesser Antilles and for the Dominican Republic, between 50 to 80 millimeters of accumulated rain. For Puerto Rico, the GFS model projects that between 5 to 6 inches of rain could fall in the eastern half of the island. However, this is very preliminary, and the maximum rainfall totals can vary depending on the trajectory and intensity of the tropical wave when it crosses the region. For example, the European model has the rain a bit further north, affecting the Virgin Islands, the northern Lesser Antilles, and Puerto Rico, with between 60 to 75 millimeters of accumulated rain, or between 2 to 3 inches. So in summary, for now, we can be calm in the Caribbean but very attentive to this disturbance, especially when it begins to interact with the tropical wave. In the medium term, we will be watching as it approaches the Caribbean region to see if it encounters favorable conditions for development. For now, it is very likely that the National Hurricane Center will maintain a low probability of cyclonic development, but it is important for Caribbean residents to stay tuned to any changes in the forecast. Also, remember that this marks the beginning of a very active period we anticipate during August for the Atlantic Basin, and it is important for everyone in the United States, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean to be prepared to face the peak of the season. Rely on hurricane info to stay informed. To do this, check if you are subscribed to my channel. Go to the bottom of the video, click the red button that says subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I record new videos. Well, with this, I say goodbye. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be updating this forecast. See you later.